Hello, kindergarten. Today we're going to be talking about lines in art class. Last time for art class, we were talking about lines and shapes. Today, we're going to work with just lines. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to learn a little bit about lines, and then I'm going to have you go and gather your supplies. Lines are actually tools for drawing our own ideas, and lines are all around us. So from now till next week, I want you to take a look outside and around your house and see if you can find some of the lines that we're going to talk about today. You're going to go on a line hunt. The next thing we're going to do is gather our supplies for art class today. You are going to need one piece of paper from your sketchbook and your markers. I'm going to give you some time to go get those, so right now you can pause the video and join us once you have your supplies. All right, kindergarten, I hope you're back with your supplies. We are going to get started at the very top of our page. And the first thing we're going to talk about is seeing lines. Lines are actually, again, like we said, everywhere. They're all around us. Last week, we learned about some straight lines. We learned about vertical lines, horizontal lines. We also learned about some shapes, because remember I said that lines can bend to form basic shapes. Inventing lines with markers is the title of our lesson, and that's why I had you gather your markers. The first thing I am going to do is I'm going to pick out my favorite color marker, and I'm going to go to my first line, which is going to be a straight line. I'm going to use my marker to draw my straight line, and I can make it pretty big. You do not need to write the words on the side. You are just going to follow along and draw the lines that I'm showing you. The next line that I'm going to draw, and I'm going to pick my next favorite color, is a curved line. And I'm going to make two curved lines. They're like the sun. So I'm going to make one big curved line. Oh, and there's another. Notice how they go up and over. The next line I'm going to do, and again, I can pick a new color. I'm going to practice drawing a zigzag line. Zigzag lines go up and down. So I'm going to make my zigzag line go all the way across my paper. The next line, and this is one of my favorite lines. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before, but it is a spiral line. A spiral line starts in the center, and it kind of works its way all the way around to the outside. You can make more than one spiral. These are sometimes fun to do with different colors. That is a spiral line. The next one is a dotted line. Now we're going to use circles, which we learned about last week. And we're going to repeat them to create our dotted line. And you can fill your dots in if you want. Okay, so there's some bigger circles. That's a dotted line. I could even make smaller dots. That is a dotted line. The next line I'm going to make is a broken line. So I'm going to leave space in between my lines. That's a broken line. Notice that there is a space in between. The next one reminds me of the beach. It is a wavy line. So over here, I'm going to make a nice big wavy line. Look at that. That's a fun one to draw. Next one is a diagonal line. We talked about this one last week. Diagonal lines go from corner to corner. Sometimes diagonal lines can crisscross and they make an X. So let's make some diagonal lines. I'm going to make some of my diagonal lines go in one direction, and now they're going to go a different direction, and then I can crisscross my diagonal lines to make an X. All right, this should be a review. This should sound familiar to you. Horizontal. A horizontal line goes from left to right or right to left. So let's practice that. We should be really good at that. There's my horizontal line, and I could make more if I want to. All right, let's try a vertical line. We talked about this last week. A vertical line goes from top to bottom. So we're going to make a few of those, top to bottom. Nice. Next one. Oh, I really like this one. Bumpy line. A bumpy line is when we take our curved lines and connect them together. This could be like mountains. All right, there's my bumpy line. Now, we're going to talk about thick and thin. A thick line, I'm going to draw a horizontal line, but then I'm going to fill it in. So I'm going to make a horizontal line, and then I'm going to make two little vertical, almost like a rectangle, and I'm going to fill it in. That's a thicker line. We call that thick. Now I'm going to make a line that is thin, but I'm going to use the tip of my marker to make it nice and thin. All right, so boys and girls, we have a lot of lines that we practiced today. I want you to take those lines that you see here that we practiced, flip your paper over to the back, and you can create your own lines using some of these. So we can connect them together, we can repeat some of the ones we've done, and do some practice on the back. When you are finished, I want you to take a picture of all the lines that you've created and send it back to me. Before we end today for art class, I want to share with you one of my favorite artists, and the reason I chose him today, he is Vincent van Gogh. I chose him, he painted this painting, because he uses lots of lines in his artwork. This painting is called Starry Night. Some of you might have saw this painting before. What we're going to do today is we're going to see if we can find some of these lines in this painting. I'm going to start out, and let's see, my very first one I'm going to look for, I think I see it already, is a spiral. We talked about these spiral lines. Take a look at the stars and the moon in Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. Those are spirals. And you can also see that they have a broken line. If you were to look at this painting close up, you would see that the lines are broken. And I'm going to get real close, see if you can see that in the painting. They're super, super swirly and spiral. They're broken. Let's take a look and see if we can find some more lines in this painting. The next one I see a bumpy line or even a wavy line. Okay, I see vertical lines. Remember, they go top to bottom in this cypress tree, and they're kind of wavy as well. And over here, where there's mountains and bushes, I see some curved lines. Look at the buildings themselves. You can see the steeple on this church is a vertical line. It goes from top to bottom. Again, we can look for lines all around us. So I want you to start really taking a good look outside and in your house and see if you can name some of the lines that we talked about and drew today. Again, don't forget to take that picture and send it to me. Next week, we'll be dealing with shapes. We're going to talk more about shapes. I hope everybody has fun. Have a great weekend. Take care.